year. I'm here at Giant's Causeway, but it's too windy to film here, so... Okay, this is a little bit better. I've come along just a bit further along the coast to Kinbane Head, Kinbane Castle behind me, here in lovely Northern Ireland, here to read out the results of Place Your Bets 2021. Now, before I start, I'm introducing a new feature called the Wall of Shame for all the people who can't count to 10,000. This year on the Wall of Shame is myself. I overbet last year by £1,000 and András, who underbet by £1,000. So to rectify this in as fair a way as possible, I asked a friend of mine who doesn't watch any of my videos, let's call her Chloe. I asked Chloe to pick two random numbers between 1 and 5, and the numbers she picked, corresponded to those questions. In my case, we subtracted £1,000 from my guess, and in András's case, we added £1,000 to his guess to make the numbers add up. So this year, let's aim for 0 people on the Wall of Shame. Let's meet our contestants. I'm David Frankal.
Hi, I'm Hadassah.
I am Duncan Friedberg.
Hello, I'm Ziv.
Hello, it's Gareth Dennis.
Hi, I'm Jen.
I'm András.
I'm Joel.
Culture. I am Coastway Will.
Hello, I'm Liam.
My name is Baron and I'm David's dad.
Question 1, and bringing back an old classic. Who is the Prime Minister of the UK? It might be a bit of a cliche at this point, but I'm putting £4,000 on Rishi Sunak.
I'm going to have to go, despite everything, with still Boris Johnson.
I'm going to say Keir Starmer.
We'll have someone even worse like Michael Gove in charge.
Unfortunately, still Boris Johnson.
It's an easy question to answer. The answer is, of course, Jeremy Corbyn.
Rishi Sunak. But I don't think he will have been the one to directly succeed Boris. There will have been somebody else in the middle.
It's Liz Truss.
I think it's going to still be Boris Johnson.
I'm going to go Rishi Sunak.
I'm going to put £3,000 on Rishi Sunak.
Now, question 1. Who is the Prime Minister of the UK? This has been the best year ever for this question, an absolute roller coaster of a year. Commiserations to Gareth Dennis, who guessed that it would be Liz Truss. For a brief moment, it looked like he was about to win that round, but in the end, it is, of course, Rishi Sunak. So myself, Hadassah and Duncan all guessed that it was Rishi Sunak, but Jen blew us all out of the water by not only guessing it was Rishi Sunak, but that there would be somebody else in between. So this is the other problem. This is the problem with this game, is that you give more specific guesses. There's no obvious way to reward getting a better answer. So what I've done, there's 4 of us who got the answer right, but Jen got it even more right. So I'm going to divide the pot. The total pot was £38,000. So I've divided that into 5, and I'm going to give Jen 2 shares of that pot, and everyone else 1 share. So Jen wins £15,200, and myself, Hadassah and Duncan each win £7,600, guessing it was Rishi Sunak. Question 2, what are the latest Covid-19 restrictions? I'm again guessing that masks are still mandatory on public transport and in shops.
Only people with 2 properties and 5 dogs are allowed to travel across county borders.
I don't believe there will be any restrictions, not even mandatory face masks.
I think we will be entering lockdown again. I think another booster jab will be available, and I think we will be preparing all of this in preparation for the Upsilon variant.
I'm going to say it's pretty similar to what is now. They're probably not going to do anything.
Masks are still mandatory in NHS settings, so like in hospitals when nurses come to visit patients at home, that kind of stuff.
No regulations at all.
I think the government has doubled down on vaccine passports, so there won't be many restrictions for vaccinated people, but I think there'll be a lot of restrictions on unvaccinated.
It will be just masks again.
Scale 7, and it entails that you're only allowed to drive your car on every odd Thursday.
Question 2, what are the latest Covid-19 restrictions? Those who guessed that there wouldn't be any, that is Duncan, Jen and my dad, you each win £9,166.67. Question number 3, which British politician has just made a complete arse out of themselves, and how? Grant Shapps has made an arse out of himself by claiming that building new motorways is greener than high-speed rail because we'll all be driving electric cars soon.
It's going to be Matt Hancock, and the reason why Matt Hancock is in the news again is because he was able to avoid being in the news for a whole year.
I'm going to say Dominic Raab, because he's admitted accidentally that the government has been paying off journalists for favourable coverage in light of their most recent scandal.
It's Keir Starmer. He's stuck standing in front of a set of automatic doors at a Lidl in Loughborough because the doors refuse to acknowledge his sentience.
Priti Patel making a suggestion like building an island in the middle of the channel to house asylum seekers.
I'm going to say that is Jacob Rees-Mogg. And it's because he wore pyjamas to the House of Commons for a PM's questions.
Rishi Sunak for making some unsavoury budget cuts.
I don't know how, but Charles II. No, wait, wrong plague.
Question 3. Which British politician has just made a complete arse out of themselves? This is always my favourite question. I always love the answers, but very rarely do people actually win any money. Well, what have we got for this year? We've got Liz Truss's entire premiership and subsequently getting beaten by a lettuce. We've got Matt Hancock going on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. We've got Boris Johnson being on holiday, avoiding the Commons for 6 weeks, then coming back for the leadership contest just to immediately pull out of the race. Linked to that, we've got Nadim Zahawi penning an article in The Telegraph endorsing Boris Johnson for leadership. That article was pulled off the website about 10 minutes after it was published because Boris Johnson had pulled out of the race. And most recently, we've had Rishi Sunak asking a homeless guy if he works in business. Well, I'm awarding points to Hadassah for guessing that we'd have Rishi Sunak making some unsavoury budget cuts, and also Ziv. I don't really understand what Ziv was guessing, but he said Charles III, and given that the Queen died this year, I'd say that's pretty prescient. So Hadassah and Ziv each win £6,750, 50 pence. Question number 4. What is Durham University's latest scandal? A student has gone on GB News and is trying to cancel a lecturer for saying that the British Empire was racist.
They've invited the reanimated corpse of Heinrich Himmler to speak about press freedom.
Their latest scandal is they're teaching people how to sext.
The Vice-Chancellor has been caught insinuating that any students who complain about rent increases should be docked points in assignments.
I think that's a little unfair because Durham University is a fine institution which doesn't usually have its scandals. But I'm going to say it's somehow getting wrapped up in the whole House of Lords scandal thing by several of their people getting ennobled.
I don't know. It has to do with the statue? Maybe there is a statue again. It's going to be a statue, isn't it?
Question number 4. What was Durham University's latest scandal? Slightly disappointed with some of the answers to this one. Nobody won any money. If anybody had guessed that the housing crisis would result in students queuing up overnight outside the estate agents to get student accommodation, or Rod Liddle coming back to Durham again, that one should have been pretty foreseeable, or the Student Union and the Palatinate, the main student newspaper, falling out. Palatinate is part of Student Union, but this year they voted to declare independence. The Student Union tried to block that by filing trademarks over Palatinate's name, so that was a bit of drama in the last few months. And finally, question number 5. Who is Pete Davidson dating this week? I'm putting my remaining £500 on Taylor Swift.
I'm going to go with Joanna Lumley.
I'm going to say Miley Cyrus.
It's Brenda from Bristol, famous for saying, "Oh no, not again," about another general election.
Kim Kardashian.
He's dating Ivanka Trump.
Kylie Jenner.
The reanimated corpse of Liza Minnelli.
And finally, question 5. Who is Pete Davidson going out with? We had a lot of good guesses for this question. I liked this question. The correct answer, according to a cursory Google search, is Emily Ratajkowski, but nobody guessed that, so nobody wins any money from that. And so with that, tallying up the money, tallying up the scores, I can now declare that with £24,366.67, Jen on the Move is our winner of Place Your Bets 2021. Congratulations, Jen, and see you all next year for the next round of Place Your Bets.